let's just talk about these players for a second. So it's the round of 32. So I guess it's what group stages. These matches individually don't mean quite so much. I think it's, what is it, 2 people from each group get out into a round of 16. So
Yep.
I mean, you've got some leeway where you can actually just lose games fine. And actually, do you know anything about bioboyAT? Like, we know that 2Pacalypse won
Dude,
Gem League, but
I've been
Yeah,
told
I
I
was
was
gonna ask
good.
you.
I
Yeah, he's apparently really good.
Really?
And people know him, but I don't know him.
oh, he's like an actual
Yeah.
player.
Well, people in
Yeah.
the thread said that he was someone to watch out for.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, do you know what race he plays? I actually don't know that at all.
No.
Chagu.
Oh, so he's
Yep.
Alright, so we got a ZVP on Andromeda. This is a pretty
Torenhire says he's a top Austrian pro.
awesome. He's a pro? Or is he just like, when you say pro, is it like professional player or like pro?
Well, when I say pro, I'm just quoting what Torenhire is saying in your IRC, so...
Fair enough. Cool. Alrighty, so, I mean, 2Pacalypse won Gem League, right? So, he's okay. And, I mean, Andromeda, I think, is one of those maps that's kind of tricky for ZVP. Just because it's so big and the Zerg can kind of throw expansions all over the place and it's so hard to move out and actually get a good place to engage with your ball of Protoss death. But, I mean, 2Pac is one of those guys who likes to just go 2-gate and be a bit of a bitch that way. So, I mean, we'll get to see what he wants to do here.
Well, I must say that I've been doing some detective work.
Yeah.
Alright, so first of all, of course, Andromeda was like the map that was good for Ser Reaver in this matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Each of those islands and the architecture. But also, earlier today, in IRC, I did see 2Pacalypse talking about how awesome Ser Reaver was
Ooh.
while watching Fold stream. So
So-
perhaps a little bit of foreshadowing there.
Well, spoiling, considering we are casting from
Yeah.
replays, so we do know that, like, 2Pac, he tried to spoil games for me in the Gem League,
See?
and I successfully dodged all the spoilers by banning him, so I'm glad that no one's been spoiled. I've tried my very best to not get myself spoiled for these games, so hopefully that'll be good. And I guess it's probably about time to start off. It's been about 5 minutes since the event started on TL, so do you guys want to get started into the first game?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us
Fantastic.
go.
Alright,
Alright.
do the countdown.
Am I doing countdown?
Yep.
Yes. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
It's gonna be bad if Jolt lags in the whoosh.
No,
No,
we're
it's all
good.
fine.
We're good.
Fantastic. Alright,
It's-
so we've got bioboyAT, White Zerg spawning in the top left position.
Kiate.
Overlay. Oh my god. Fucked up
For
straight
God's sake.
away. I'm such
Sorry,
a
dude.
pro.
Well, welcome to the world of semi-professional casting. And by semi-professional, I mean not professional at all.
I was gonna say, I'm like, this is like nothing professional about me. Anyway, and we have 2Pacalypse spawning as the brown Protoss in the top right. And he thinks he should be studying, so that's pretty weak. And looks like he's trying to make excuses from the get-go.
Oh, he's making excuses for two-gating. Oh, you're right, man. You're right.
Yeah, man.
Apocalypse. He knows
No,
he's
he's not.
planning this two-gate.
He's setting him up wrong. He's gonna tell him he's gonna 2-gate, and then he's gonna go Sarah Reaper.
He's definitely 2-gating though, unless it's like his probe is really, really late. Is he?
Where?
Where's his pylon?
What?
What?
I don't know. It's online supply.
That was awkward. The 9 pylon, 2Pac changing the metagame.
This is what we've come to expect from
9
2Pac.
pylon, 9 scout. I mean, honestly, how could you beat this professional build?
Guys, don't worry. 2Pacalypse is like one of the best BGHers you'll ever see, so it's fine. I have faith in his abilities.
He's the guy who stuffed up the 10-15 gate and then told me he did it on purpose and tried to argue that it was like on purpose. It was
He then
hilarious.
beat you with it.
What?
That's
Oh,
No, I
called
didn't.
out. Called out, Keontae.
I did not get beaten by
Ooh.
2Pac's 10-15 gate.
By the way, was that a... What hatchery was that? Because
A
he has
12?
10 supply right now.
Oh,
Well, he's missing a drone
Wait.
though, if that was a 12 hatch.
11 hatch.
Yeah,
he
it was
definitely
like
got
an
he
11
definitely
hatch.
got an overlord and 2 more drones. So I guess it was just an 11 hatch, and that was a nice block there on the spawning pool by
that's
2
what I
Pac.
was trying to.
He totally caused him to waste 18 more minerals. It's very, very efficient.
Oh,
He's
he might
actually-
kill it too. Oh, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
Look at the probe.
Oh,
Oh,
simulator it.
Oh.
Oh.
unfortunate. I only barely didn't really catch that. And I need to
Yeah, if he
change
had enough
colors as
money
well.
for the assimilator, he could have done it. But he didn't.
I'm just changing colors. You guys keep talking and stuff.
Alright. Alright, bioboy's making drones. Now, in these horizontal positions, I think Cereaver is also particularly nice. He can like take the island expo in between them, and it's gonna be so easy for him to like harass with the Corsairs, if he does do that. But I'm not really sure how you get there from going one base build. Like he didn't even 2-gate, he's just going 1-gate tech.
Yeah, I really don't like 1-gate taking because like look at the ramp, right? It's massive. You pretty much
Yeah.
you need what 3 zealots to block there from Zerglings, and by the
Yeah,
time you
or-
have
or
3
2 zealots on a
zealots,
probe.
if the Zerg decides just to make Zerglings and attack you, you kind of just die. It's actually really depressing. Has that happened to you before? Where like the Zerg is just like, oh, you went one base tech, I guess I'll just attack you and kill you, and there's like nothing you can
Yeah,
do
dude.
about it.
It blows, man. It sucks.
It really does. Looks like he might actually set up for an expansion here. Sort of like a 1-gate tech into a quick expansion to get like fast stairs out and kind of defend the expo that way. But his zealot harass has been thoroughly fended off here. It looks like 2Pac's still going to keep pushing this. The problem with this is that if you keep pressing this and the Zerg just gets a few more Zerglings out, suddenly you lose your 2 zealots and you lose all of your map presence and potentially die, which is awkward.
He's got pretty good control so far, though. He hasn't actually killed anything, but he's forced out, what is that, 8 Zerglings?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's interesting, because originally I was going to say, like, when you go for a 1-base tech... oh, but the drone actually died in the main base, by the way, of the Protoss. Usually when you go for 1-base tech, you actually sometimes want to get your core even before your first Zealot. And then so you go core, and then Zealot, and then Dragoon immediately. And actually then 1 Zealot and 1 Dragoon, I think, can block that ramp. But in this
He's
case,
sniping
putting on all
drones
this extra
there.
pressure... Yeah, this is actually really cool. He's just showing off some really good micro and just not overcommitting with these Zealots. I can see the BGHer coming out here, putting on this early Zealot pressure.
He's actually getting a second gateway as well.
He's
really
just forced
interesting.
some of these Zerglings.
Oh no. The first Zealot's about to die. Not before it takes a nice little detour into the Zerg base though. He really
People are,
has
all
like
splitting up.
there really
I
aren't
feel
many
like
drones.
this is, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, there's like 5-10 drones total for the Zerg right now. It's really been like forced back by this pressure.
Yeah, and the Zealot in the main does see the Hydra Den. And the Zealot in the natural is like still being annoying here.
Oh, yeah.
2Pac doing some really sick multitask there, just splitting his Zealots up 3 ways, but he's getting busted at his ramp there. Didn't quite block it off, even though he had the 2 Zealots and a Dragoon, but wow, look at that.
He's
Making
plenty.
just perfect Zealots. Yeah, from the 2 gateways, it's gonna be fine. Good micro.
Yeah, it keeps the red Zealot alive there. It's really important.
Actually got 2 red Zealots there.
Yeah, not a single shield on any of those Zealots.
And he's actually just going 1-base Sarah DT. Unless he's going speed lots, that would be
It could
funny.
be that Speedlot Corsair timing, something like that. He is getting a Forge as well. Maybe, no, he would have got the Forge earlier. There we go. Yeah, you're right. Ser DT. It's gonna be Ser DT, and I assume he's gonna drop an Expo once he gets the Dark Templars out, because it doesn't really make sense otherwise. Because you can't really kill a Zerg outright with Ser DT unless they incredibly screw up. So it's one of those sort of builds where you want to just kind of stop the Zerg from taking an expansion, you know, do a bit of harass if you can, and kind of just force the Zerg to make defenses for something while you just cash in economically.
Yep.
Bioboy is getting a fair few Hydras though.
And one thing to note also is that you actually only need, like you can see 2Pac only made 1 Corsair and they stopped, and I hope he doesn't lose that one, that's pretty horrible.
Yep.
He's going to lose his first
dear.
Corsair, which he should not have done. But there is no Overlord outside of his base, so it doesn't actually matter. The whole point of getting the initial Corsair is you kill the Overlord that's like sitting outside your natural, and then the first DT that comes out will give you complete map control and make your expansion safe. So you don't actually need to like overmake Corsairs or anything like that, or even make like an excessive number of DTs. It's actually better to just make 1 or 2 and go straight to High Templar. keep you safe against any busts. Like that was I used to make that mistake a lot when I did this because I don't really understand it. I would make like 3 Corsairs and not have enough money for other things.
Yeah.
And it's just not very useful.
2Pac is posturing and he still hasn't expanded. Sort of posturing with the Zealots, he might actually go for a bust here. If he can distract with his Zealots and slip the DTs into the main, suddenly there's this undefended main. Because he has killed the Overlord that was in the main. And he could potentially, take out the Hydra Den and a lot of drones, depending on how much he can sort of distract with these Zealots. He may just...
He is getting leg speed though, so he might want to wait for that, and that is a little ways off. It's about halfway done now.
Yeah, looks like, he'll actually have a kind of like a late +1 leg timing. Hilariously, I think this +1 leg timing will actually come later than it would have if he just Forge FE'd.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you compare relative to the Zerg's position though, since he put on the early pressure, like I feel like if he just Forge FE'd, Zerg might have like the bottom left natural as well,
That's
in addition
a good point,
to these 3 bases.
The Zerglings just run right by that contain.
This could be an issue actually, because there's literally nothing. There's
nothing
2
at all,
High
no.
Templar coming out, and 2 Zealots running back to defend from, what, like 12 Zerglings? And a cannon. It's gonna be tight, like, without +1.
Next is just done.
If he goes for the Rumba, it could be really annoying. It looks like, oh no, he's just gonna go for the cannon.
Wow, this
We
is
can take
actually
the
gonna be a
next
real pain in the ass. Just to... Oh wow, yeah.
He has a cannon in his main though,
straight-
so at least his probes will be okay.
It's kind of weird that he got the cannon in the main, despite knowing that there's no Spire. I don't really understand what that's about.
It's actually, I'm pretty sure it's actually exactly to defend against this,
Oh.
these speeding Rumbais, because he knows he's vulnerable to that. So to get that preemptive cannon is super smart. You can also notice like his Sim City is like anti-Zergling right there.
You're right, yeah.
To protect the cannon. That's actually really smart by 2Pac to do that. Although he might get boned by these lurkers, considering he's only got 1 cannon at the front still, and it's not even done. Uh-oh.
The great thing about the lurkers is there's no anti-air for his Corsairs, so they can actually just rip through these Overlords while the lurkers are trying to move out. But wow, okay. Losing a shitload of Zealots there. There are DTs though, so he can try to whittle this away pretty easily. bioboy's pretty sloppy here, just kind of losing everything.
Yeah, and
To-
the Afghans against Zerglings are ugly.
But 2Pac was like, well, I'll give you some free hits then. It's like they're both playing like donation craft.
I was gonna catch a lurker. Why did he borrow there? He should have kept running.
Alright, so bioboy had like a lot of lurkerling, and now he has 3 lurkers. And I mean,
Dude, Bakuryu is so depressed by that he's just going to bed now. Just like, screw this man. Friggin' Zerg. Friggin' Protoss. I'm dead.
I'm not quite sure how everything died without him really doing anything. It's kind of weird.
Well, after
Well,
this round, like when... Sorry, go ahead, Joel.
I was just gonna say all of the Zealots are ruined, but none of them actually died, so... Like, it's not like he didn't do damage, it's just that he did amazing distributed damage and nothing solid enough, like nothing directed enough. It's horrific.
Oh wow, that DT down the bottom left actually managed to pick off a drone that was coming down to expand.
That's
I
actually
think
its
that was
second.
actually the second one. Ah.
Nuts. So this is going to be like the latest third gas the Zerg is he'll probably ever get as a Zerg player. You know, even in the like ZVT, you would have a third gas by now. So yeah, it's kind of like a tough spot here for bioboy. Like, I mean, the fact that the 2Pac kind of invested so much in the early pressure means that it's okay that he's expanding so late, but at the same time, he honestly should have had an expansion by now. You know, he's had a lair for a while. He's got Overlord speed. All he has to do is actually escort a drone down there and get rid of these DTs. Kind of like being sloppy might actually just be biting him in the arse here.
Yeah, he's gonna catch that with some links now, though. Oh, well, maybe.
Or
maybe
not.
not. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. DT is pretty good.
Just DT just walks away. Alright.
Yeah. Now, one thing that was okay for bioboy, though, was at least he had that mineral only. But now the Protoss Minor only is done, so now they're equal bases. So now it's like even more important for him to get that expo up, which he looks like he's gonna do properly now. Now another drone's coming down, Ling's gonna chase that DT away. That DT can actually still kill the drone if it sees it. Oh,
That would have been
no.
funny, actually. He spent all
Yeah.
this time like looking for DTs to like just lose it again. But so yeah, finally, eventually, at some point, he'll make this into an expansion, and he'll have an extra gas to actually be able to make some units with. His tech is pretty slow though. I mean, he's only just starting the hive, or kind of halfway done.
I was also sitting on 800 gas.
Wait, who is 2Pac?
Oh, and now it's all just become lurkers.
Oh, I was gonna say, I clicked on it, and I'm like, wait, what? He's got like
Yeah,
100.
he's got 8 lurkers morphing.
I feel like he has no real way to put on any pressure here. I mean, these lurkers are great defensively, but it's going to be tough to defend both this bottom left position and his main, considering the Protoss can get into this in between position and just kind of hold the army off and slowly whittle down whatever defenses are down here. He's going to need Nidus pretty soon.
Yeah, this is a really just solid Protoss composition by 2Pac. But it's a pretty good lurker field as well for bioboy. He needs to borrow those extra lurkers in the back. I don't know what they're doing.
Oh.
So there's no way for 2Pac to actually break this. I don't know why he's going to bother.
Yeah, he just kind of
he's
threw
gonna
away
back
a
up.
lot of zealots there.
And he's lost 2 observers now. No observers with the army anymore. Both sniped by Scourge.
And yeah, so I mean, 2Pac just kind of blundered there. Kind of just like ran straight into the lurker field without looking, and losing his obs as well is a real pain in the ass. When you only
he's
have
just
like
picked up one more now.
one or two obs in ZVP, it's a real pain in the ass if the Zerg is actively trying to deny your observers. And that
Is
looks like
Zergling run by coming in again?
I think it looks like he's just checking the 3 o'clock. Yeah, just checking the expos.
there's far too many cannons at the natural
At the front.
run by to actually be effective. He's actually getting a cannon at his mineral only as well. Looks like he actually snipes a few Templar here with Zerglings.
Wow, 3
Yeah, that's
so
actually-
far.
Yeah, that's actually really good by him. I can't believe he got 3 there with all those Dragoons and Zealots around. I wasn't even watching. I don't even know how he did that. But this one left base is gonna go down though.
Oh yeah, he's got absolutely nothing here. I think he had those Zerglings and yeah, just a couple of drones out. He's really going to have to try and establish presence on the map before he can really hold an expansion here. Looks like, yeah, that's what he's trying to do here, sort of moving up his lurker field to cover this 9 o'clock base as well. But I feel like if 2Pac just goes for this right now with no supporting units, that is the sort of 6 lurkers is actually really, really weak. You really need like Zerglings, Hydralisk there to kind of buffer. But 2Pac once again is donating units to the lurkers.
And there's only one observer. He might snipe it. Is he gonna get it? He needs to target the... Oh, nice target fire there.
no.
He
So
actually
wait.
right-clicked on the Scourge, but now he's gonna lose it again anyway.
Oh no.
Boom.
Beautiful.
So 2Pac's army is getting kind of decimated here. Just through some sort of... He keeps kind of running his army ahead of his observer, and he like runs into the lurkers and kind of stands around waiting for the observer. I think he needs to get ob speed. People hate on you. They're like, oh, you don't need ob speed, just micro better. But like, it's just so handy, and
Yeah, it really is.
it's just. I mean, the only time you really hate it is when you're running your army around and suddenly your observers like suicide into like hydras or something, and you're like, oh shit.
Observer range also is actually quite useful in PvZ. Like, you don't need it in PvT, but in PvZ, just to help you keep away from the Scourge while you're trying to spot the lurker fields, it can be super, super useful. Although more so when you're like just trying to break lurker contains and whatnot. Meanwhile, 2Pac's made a bunch of cannons at the bottom right, so he's gonna try and take that base. Yeah, just planting the Nexus down. I also want to say that 2Pac's gateway placement makes me very angry. It's just pretty horrible.
Actually, it would be so
Yeah.
hard to macro from that. You need to go on like 3 or 4
Exactly.
different screens to actually click on all the gateways.
Yeah, like a lot of people, you know, because I obviously, you know, talk about it all the time, good gateway placement. And a lot of people don't realize actually how much that actually affects your macro and stuff. They just think, oh, well, alright, it looks pretty and that's about it. But actually having all your gateways just like available on one screen makes your macros so much better.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's one of those things that you don't realize until you actually play with it. And you're like, oh, why wasn't I doing this all the time? But 2Pac once again, he hasn't got his Zealots hotkeyed on a different key, and Swarm's actually up now, and Observer's dying. But with Swarm up, I mean, 2Pac can't really kill this.
He just has so much Storm though. Like I'm surprised he hasn't thrown it out. He has like what, 8 Storms just waiting.
Yeah, it looks like he hasn't got a Templar energy upgrade, which is, I think, is a mistake.
Oh god, that is such a huge mistake. Look, almost all these Templars are max energy.
Yeah.
If he had the energy upgrade, he would have 5 extra storms by now.
Wow.
In fairness though, it would be the difference between 8 Storms he's not using and 15 Storms he's not using.
Well said, well said. Yeah, I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, bioboy, you know, I wasn't too impressed with his play in the beginning. Oh shit, hold that thought. Big drop loading up here. Uh-oh. And the army's completely out of position. This might turn into a base trade, except that Dark Swarm and Lurkers are pretty good at defending.
Pretty good.
Is he gonna get the Observer?
Oh yeah. So by base trade, you mean 2Pac is going to lose his base, and bioboy is not going to lose his.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually how Zerg's base trade anyway. It's pretty unfair.
The drop's finally... Looks like he's going to put on a bit of distraction with Zerglings as he drops to just try and split 2Pac's focus. And he might get a Plague off here. Oh wow, hits the Zealots too. So those Zealots are pretty much useless now. Have what, 60 shields? That's maybe like 2.5 Leica shots.
And looks like the Lings actually went to the 3 o'clock to check that, and now the drop's going into the main. Oh, this is gonna be so sad. I can feel 2Pac's pain. Oh man, he's moving the reinforcements out at the same time. He still doesn't see it. He needs to keep the reinforcements there at least.
Oh, actually lost. Oh, the swarms get up. Oh no, this is horrible. This is like the worst. And all of his tech is here too. He's going to lose his Templar Archives before Templar Energy finishes, and potentially lose his both of his upgrades. Oh no.
And the cracklings add insult to injury.
So 2Pac manages to kill a bottom left base here, but it kind of doesn't matter. If you lose all of your tech and your main at this position in the game, it's just so hard to come back from, because you lose all of your production as well. I mean, all he can make right now is Zealots. He can make Zealots. Oh wait, he can make Dragoons. Zealots, Dragoons, and Observers. It's like he's slowly pushing in here with Storm. It's like bioboy is continuing to try and take down these Observers and use that as his way of surviving. Finally using the Storms, so I mean that's a positive.
Honestly, I think this is actually quite a fundamental mistake from 2Pacalypse. It might just be due to his unfamiliarity with the map, although, I mean, you know, who doesn't know Andromeda? He didn't have any spotting on the left side of his main. Like, he didn't at least build a pylon there. If he had a pylon there, he would have had an extra, like, 10, maybe 15 seconds to react, because bioboy didn't drop until the Overlords got to the main, so definitely would have had more time to call his units back. Might have saved a couple of those tech buildings. Meanwhile, though, the main army is getting crushed here by Nightwalk. That's just not even going to be close. Oh man.
Ultras are pretty good, and by pretty good I mean ridiculously overpowered. The funny thing about Ultras is that you kind of storm them, and half the time you end up just like storming your own stuff more, and there's, like the Ultras just kind of like bathe in the storm, you know, get a bit of a tan. He might actually kill this base, maybe. Oh wait, no, don't worry. Ignore me. So
bioboy's strategy is so kind of ingrained at this stage that he's still trying to snipe obs when the lurkers aren't there. Like that's after all his lurkers went down, he was still picking off obs with Scourge, like as though that were prime at the time. It was cute.
So the drop, I'd say, turned out pretty well. And by pretty well, I mean 2Pac can literally only make Zealots right now against a lurker ultra composition. It's not an ideal situation.
Oh man, his Dragoons are getting stuck as well. Look at that crappy gateway placement. Ah!
Oh my god.
By the way, you know who bioboy reminds me of a little bit? He reminds me a little bit of Action. Because like his lair, like when he had Lurker Ling, like his lair level play was just horrendous. He just like ran in a bunch of dudes and died. But his Hive player here, like with his defilers and his drops, It's actually not that bad.
It's like
Pretty
having Hive. Also, he was just decided that he was going to macro really well, and suddenly he's had these massive armies ever since he got Plague Up. I mean, Swarm Up. And the funny thing is, 2Pac, right? He lost his core as well. He's actually having to remake his core before he can remake his Citadel. Before he can remake his archives.
Wow. Zergling paid.
It actually, I think he just wrote a T in Zergling Blood there, like for TSL. You know?
Oh, okay.
He's just giving a little shout out to the league.
That's nice.
That's for you, Torenhire. That was for you. Man, that's gotta take some sick skill, by the way. I mean, like, anyone can, you know, draw pictures with pylons, but to actually make art with these dead Zerglings, that is some skill right there.
It's a pretty good effort.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed with that.
You know, the advantage here is that it looks like bioboy's sort of stopped lurker production for the most part, and the Zealots have okay upgrades, right? Oh wait, actually, compared to like the Zerg upgrades, are pretty bad. But let's just say the Zealots had good upgrades. Just making Zealots isn't horrible against Lurker Lane. I mean, it's not great. I mean, against Ultra Lane, it's not fantastic, but it's not like world ending because it makes Swarm useless. And
Oh, dude.
I think bioboy just needs to start plaguing a bit here, and suddenly the game's going to be over.
He's also double
Actually,
expanding.
I didn't notice those upgrades, but this, oh
Yeah.
man, if I was 2Pac, I'd be crying with these. These Zealots are gonna do jack all against the Ultra Lane with those upgrades. 2-1 against 3-2. The Ultra's at 4-3. Oh man. Wait a minute. You got melee attack before Carapace.
Wow, that's actually kind of weird.
That is very bizarre.
He plagued 2 Ultras. I'm kind of deciding whether this is like a BM plague or whether it's like a I just misclicked plague.
I think he misclicked. It's like earlier when you're saying how you try and storm Ultras and you storm your own units.
Yeah.
He tried to plague the Zealots and he just ran up to the Ultras and he's like, oh shit, no. Dude, I so know that feeling. Because you know, like, you left click on an enemy unit, right?
Yeah.
And then it just runs into your army. You're like, fuck no. You like try and stop the spellcaster from doing anything and it's too late.
Yeah.
And you just like do way more damage to
You're
your own
like
army.
helpless and you stand there and you watch like a storm like melt all of your zealots and you're just like, oh no.
That feel.
But I mean, bioboy is still, I mean, he's quite, despite his plagued ultras. I mean, 2Pac, he's making a nice sort of little comeback here using this bottom right base, which has been almost completely unharassed.
Well, you know, he's got pretty sick macro right now. You know, he's keeping his money really low.
Really,
so I
really
like that a
low.
lot.
What I
Yeah.
find really interesting is the double robotic support bay and
yeah.
no reavers.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, he's actually making reavers now. As I say that, 2Pac attempting to expand. I don't think he quite understands the position that he's in this game right now. Like this probe's like, hey man, there's a base here. I guess I'll just expand there. 2Pac's like, yeah, sure. And then bioboy's like, wait, no, that's not right.
Dude, he's just following my advice. You know, whenever your money gets a little bit high as Protoss, you just go expand somewhere and you make cannons.
Yeah.
Like that's how you have good macro as Protoss. You just make cannons.
Make cannons, yeah.
Anyway, Zealot Hit Squad gonna go snipe this 9 o'clock catcher, I think. He'll probably just right click it and not worry about the units there.
There are 2 Zerglings there though, so pretty much all these zealots will die before they even know that they're alive.
Yeah, basically. Oh god,
I mean,
he's gonna get it.
Advanced DT.
It's nice attempted harass, but bioboy is kind of everywhere at the moment. I mean, killing a couple of drones, or a Zerg who's on like 6 bases, it kind of doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it's nice and good, but unless you can really knock out a lot of drones, kind of like Jangbi did in the Jangbi vs Zero series. Unless you can really take out a lot of drones, it's kind of pointless, in my opinion. Anyway.
Can I just say something real quick?
No,
Alright,
no, you're actually not allowed to
spoiler
say
alert.
anything.
ASL spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Ret!
T1?
Taking out puzzle.
Oh, fantastic.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Oh, at least he doesn't like get to go home. Like it'd be so disappointing just to go to NASL and then play a best of 5 and then leave. You'd feel. I'd just be like, oh.
But it's all paid for though, like their hotel and their flight.
Yeah,
and everything,
but
so it's
still,
not, like,
I mean,
costing anything.
going to like another fucking country isn't. I mean, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go to a finals, and then oh, okay, that was it. like you know, like 25 minutes of all-ins or whatever, and then. Wait, 2Pac's actually walling off with a Templar here. It's like the flimsiest wall ever made.
No, dude, it's the best wall because they don't auto attack. So if you aim move up the ramp, the Zerg units won't actually attack the Templar.
But
It's like if you, dude, it's like the trick where you hold SCVs on the ramp and you put a barracks over it, and Zerg can't actually get up because you can't attack it.
So,
oh, nice drop.
bioboy was like, well, you've got ultras on a ramp, I guess I'll just drop into your main and kill it. There are a lot of cannons though, that's a significant number of cannons, but there is swarms.
And he forgot to drop the Defiler. Defiler drops last. Pretty cute.
Late to the party.
Damn Mass Reavers, yo.
When in
I
doubt.
can't believe 2Pac lost this game. He was looking so good in the early and mid game. I was like, alright, this is not gonna be close.
Dude, he's
I
playing
just think
action, can you blame him?
Research the Templar energy.
That's a lot of dead ultras. Like...
Wait, is H-Pig watching this? H-Pig must be so mad they didn't get Templar energy.
I think he went to sleep. Or something like that. Like he was like,
What?
I'm gonna be really weak and just go to sleep or something. And I was like, oh, you are. And that's about the summary of
That
our
is
interactions.
exceptionally weak.
He said he was gonna wake up, but I don't think it happened.
Dude, even I
don't
woke up.
have
I've had like 4 hours of sleep in the past 3 days, man. It's esports. You can't just go to sleep.
Yeah, man, sleep's
crazy.
overrated. So,
Is he...
Oh, he has Reavers and Drillers.
he actually dropped the
Oh,
Reaver down
yeah.
next to the Ultralisk, and then let the Ultralisk kill the Reaver.
Wow.
And so basically, bioboy made like a tiny army, and then there was like a 15-minute engagement where 2Pac was like slowly trying to kill that army, and then bioboy's, hang on, I've got a whole nother army, and
That is horrific.
Oh, he's going to the natural now.
and
Oh
there's
God, he needs to
no
swarm.
Reavers here.
By the way, I would like to direct our observers' attention to the Zerg's main base. There's an interesting building being constructed.
Very interesting. Also known as a Great Aspire. But I'm fairly sure we're actually not going to see any of them, unless 2Pac is going to be like super BM and like never GG. But I feel
No,
like
the thing is, he can abandon his main base right now and just turtle up on the bottom right with like mass reavers.
I guess.
And so that's why this Greater Spire is gonna be so good, because he's gonna make like 4 guardians and start sieging down the natural, and 2Pac won't have anything to do with anything that he can do about it, because his only anti-air right now is Archons. And
I do
you're,
like the
not
defensive
actually.
DTs.
There's defensive
Yeah, what?
DTs? Where are they?
There are 2 in the main that fended off
Oh, I see, yeah.
some number of Ultralisks.
Oh, nice.
Still a fair few probes kind of idle at the middle only. But yeah, I mean, 2Pac basically has no mining right now. And he's lost his bank that he had about 10 minutes ago. And
But
then
he's
meanwhile...
mining from that kind of min only on the kind of 4:30.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but bioboy's taking the middle. He's got like a million ultras. This is so over. He's also banking like 3k.
The middle base in this map is kind of shitty, to be honest. Like 750 minerals in a patch is kind of bad, and the fact that like they're so far like spaced out and stuff.
Dude, that's more than Fighting Spirit has, I'm pretty sure. The Fighting Spirit patches are even worse.
Oh yeah, I
The
guess.
2 guys.
And there are the mutalisks. I guess we'll see those guardians and a GG soon after. 2Pac deciding that a 1 base economy is definitely going to beat a 6 base Zerg and has to get told by rare units. It would be funny if he morphed Devourers and just moved them over and let them die to cannons in like a BM kind of way.
2Pac tries a Reaver drop on the bottom left and loses the shuttle on the Reaver instantly.
Looks like he did kill a drone. I saw like
No,
a corpse
he
of a
killed
drone.
3.
3 drones. I guess that's almost worth it for a Reaver. Like when you think about like over the lifetime of a drone, I mean they're probably going to mine more minerals than a Reaver, right? So if you just kill 1 drone, it's worth it.
It is.
Just think about it. Right?
Haven't you seen any of the SC2 strategy forum threads? Like that's what it's all about, man. Like that's why mules cost like what 600 minerals or some shit, and drones are infinite money.
All right, Guardians. Here we go. Guardians and a single mutalisk for some reason. Is he going to attack with him?
Yeah, so this will be over because there's no anti-air. There's 3 Archons. Like what? What are you gonna? He doesn't even have Storm. It's like these are actually really clumped. If he had like 2 items.
Oh, he has 2 storms
Where?
on that
where
High
are
Templar with the Archons.
He should have.
Oh.
He would have had 3 if he skilled Templar Energy earlier. Before his base got dropped and killed by about 5 graphics.
Some sick GG timing.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm
It's
trying to
good
think
to see
like
this game
what
stop
he's
deep.
like. Well, I guess I'll just all in. And bioboy's like AFK units, just like clean up his attack.
Is he sending back the Reavers in the shuttle? Yeah, he is. That's the perfect defense against those Guardians.
Plagued Archons against Swarm over their Zealots. That's GG.
GG!